to just right now. Hey.
This is our second episode already.
It feels like we just filmed, almost like we did. We did.
Today's topic is, I think, a really important one, especially for our generation.
I think it's something that's gonna hit home for sure, and both of us have a lot to say about it. So we're gonna try to be as authentic as we can. And so our topic is learning to be comfortable in your own body. Ooh.
I feel like this is a topic that's going to be really intense to talk about. It's a safe space for anyone who's listening to this, whether you're a woman or a man. I think it's very easy to step into like a tough outlook on your body and what you look like when there's so many images you're constantly absorbing online. And I think we're all guilty of that. In this episode, we're going to hope to bring some light on that and try to talk about ways that we personally deal with it. So, Naya's going to start us off.
Oh, didn't know that. So one thing about your body, I will say, is we can be our biggest haters. And that is one of the toughest things to come through because you often think it's other people that are perceiving you in a way, or that you take other people, like people's observations as your own. But it's truly our own minds and brains that take us to those like spots. So I think a big part of growing up and growing into our bodies, especially as women, it is a lot to be compared to different things all the time, to always have an objective perfect of just, there's a standard body type that everyone wants. Skinny, tall.
It changes every season.
It changes every
Do y'all
freaking
want
day.
the big butts or the slim waist? They want both.
Everyone wants both.
Yeah.
But the truth is, and hear me out, none of that matters. Your body throughout your life is going to change so much. It is actually insane. And there's ways we can learn to take control of our body in the way that you can eat healthier, you can go to the gym, you can, if you're struggling with eating too, because that's something that I personally struggle with, it's not just about eating all the time. It's not about fixing your diet. It's not about going to the gym all the time either. You have to learn to be okay with what your body was meant to be. You can take repercussions of going to the gym to feel better, but don't go to the gym for the body image. That is the biggest advice I can give you. Yes, it is easy to just go to the gym and think, oh, I'm going to gain muscle, I'm going to get rid of body fat and all of that, but at the end of the day, if you keep getting yourself in that cycle of, I'm going to the gym to change this part of me, I'm going to the gym to change this, you're throwing yourself in for a loop that is quite literally, it's unstoppable. Like, you're going to continue going to the gym for that purpose. But if you change your mindset, and it's like, I'm going to the gym to feel better, I'm going to the gym or eating this because it makes me feel good. That is a different mindset, and it is one that a lot of people around me personally as well, that's how we see it, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's not always going to the gym to change something. It's not always eating something to change something. It is quite literally learn to be comfortable in your own skin. It's going to fluctuate no matter what. Even if you go to the gym multiple times, it's not going to be different within that same week. It takes time. And so let your body form the way it's meant to form. You can help it, but inevitably accept it.
It's like self-acceptance.
Exactly.
I will say that I think a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this, believe that when you get to a certain like number on the scale, or when you get to a certain measurement or closer to fit you a certain way, then you'll be happy and then you'll love yourself. But oftentimes it's actually a really, really unhealthy thing to think, and it's very unrealistic and unsustainable more than anything. Personally, I have done it all, guys. I've done it all. I've been pretty petite to pretty big to pretty muscular to whatever you want. But now it just comes to a point where it's like, what is it even worth it to like for a certain like piece of clothing to fit you so well if you feel so bad inside? Like, I think more than anything, like Naya was saying, your body is going to continue to change, and you need to start viewing it as like an actual machine that you need to respect and give fuel to. Because at the end of the day, we take for granted so many little things about our bodies. It's not about how that skirt fits, and it's not about slim, thick. It's about like, we are lucky to be able to move and walk and dance with our friends and hug each other and all of those things that seem so like normal and like we forget about. Like, that is a privilege. People out here aren't able to walk, and they wish that they had your 2 legs. They wish they had your arms, your fingers to lift those weights. So I think it just becomes about changing the perspective, seeing your body for something else. And I also think, going back to the social media thing, a lot of the times we live off illusions. We're constantly seeing these viral videos of these girls with the skinniest waist and the fattest, juiciest asses. And honestly, some people just do have it like that. They're blessed and good for them. But you need to remember that societal expectations for what beauty is going to change. And you're living off of all of these illusions. But it's like, if you are constantly trying to chase that time of what is perfect, you're going to drive yourself miserable, and you're going to hate your body no matter what. You're never going to be able to catch up with it. So that's something I've learned, and it's not we're not out here saying it's an easy process. We're both, like she said, still learning to maneuver that ourselves, being so young and so involved with the social media world. But we are truly so lucky and blessed to have a body that allows us to live, and that's that.
Take control of that, honestly. I think going off of what that's the best part about this, honestly. Wow. Yeah, this is a heavy topic. I feel like don't be upset with yourself for the lack of progress in the visible eye.
Oh, that's a good one.
One thing I've always learned is everyone sees you through the lens of what they're going through. It's never, oh, like I could see your pimple and I could see that you're losing weight or whatever, that you're gaining weight, because everyone's always so focused on themselves.
And on their own, like,
on their own world. I think it didn't used to be like that. I think things have changed, and in the past there was probably lack of awareness about these types of things, and the way that your body's just going to change, and you don't have to be so strict on the fact that, oh, this person's seeing this, so I have to do this. It's like, remember that quote from Jay Shetty? It's not how I see you, it's the way, what was it?
I am not who I think I am, and I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. And that ate. Let that sit for a second.
Let that sit for a second. We're going to put that right on the screen for you. Yeah, but exactly what you just said. That is such a powerful thing. We try to be people that we think the other person wants us to be. It's not that we're being authentic to ourselves and what we want to look like and what we want to do for ourselves to feel good, but it's like, I want to change this because I want that boy to like me. I want to change this because I believe that I'll look better to the public eye, but deep down on the inside, you're hurting. It's not about that, and it will never be about that. Let that sink in. Everyone is always going to see you through the lens of what they're going through in that moment. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Don't take things so personal when people comment on things. It's because they're probably projecting something of what they're going through. That's why I always say, when someone's projecting something onto you, ask them, no, but like, is that something that's on your mind?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's not personal to me, but like, is that something that you're thinking of? That's how you can create conversation with people and give that person the chance to speak rather than let them be in a reactive state and project. That is so important. Don't give people the power that you yourself should give to yourself. It comes from you, and if you decide to give those people the power, that's where you inevitably go wrong. Because you're in full control. Don't give that away.
I think we mentioned this in the last podcast too, but it's important to bring up again in this topic, and that is that if you live in constant worry that someone is going to be prettier than you in the room or just have an objectively better body or whatever, then find peace in knowing that you're right, they will. Because they just will. You don't need to look like X, Y, Z. You don't need to act like X, Y, Z. I literally journaled this today, which is crazy. You don't need to... Journaling is it. You don't need to look like this person, act like this specific person, behave like this person, be as well known or well liked as a specific person to value you and like you. Because you're you, and that's all. Like, again, some people out there are beating themselves over wanting what you have, and you're out here beating yourself over what someone else has, and then I promise you they're beating themselves over.
It's a never-ending cycle.
Yes, and once you really start to look at it for that, because that is what it is, truly, you can find so much peace in knowing, you know what, I'm not meant to be perfect, and I'm not meant to be the best, because no one is truly the best. There's always more, there's always going to be more. That's the game of life, but it's about what's best for you and how you feel you're best. Not necessarily how you look, but just how you feel. And one thing I've learned also is that once you start focusing on your mind and your health and how you feel better and surrounding yourself with people that take care of your mental health and bring you so much peace and comfort, then it comes with the physical. Trust, it comes. So don't fixate so much on going to the gym because, like she said, you want to change something. Of course, it's a good reward. Obviously, it keeps us going. It's extrinsic motivation. But do it because, yeah, you feel good. And because, again, it's a blessing that your body allows you to move. So many people wish they could move. Do it because you're living. Like, don't exist, live. Like, you're alive. Move. Eat. And just take care of yourself. And, again, just remember that don't beat yourself up too much because you swear that you just are not as well liked as this other girl or this other guy because they have that thing that draws people in. Okay. Then the people that are being drawn in are not for you. They're not your people, and you will find your people.
That's a big...
Yeah. People have different versions of pretty and different versions of handsome, different versions of smart. You're not going to fit in everybody's eyes, but you will fit in someone's eventually. And more importantly, you need to start accepting who you are and fit into you. And again, it's not an easy thing, but we really are so blessed. Just blessed to have life and a body, and it's not an easy process, but surround yourself with people that you can talk to about it, who can maybe not even relate to you, but give you the chance to open up, give you that safe space. I know for me, Naya's been great help. Bestie!
Both ways. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and don't bring you down is such a big one, because you're going to compare yourself to so many people in this world, not just your body, the way you're living, where you're at in life.
Everything, your personality.
Everything. Especially during your 20s, I'll say. This is the most I've ever compared myself to other people, and that's a very vulnerable thing to say, but like, yeah, just the fact that I'm graduating this year means that change is going to happen. We're all going to learn to do things in a different way. But learning to hold on to those friendships and those relationships, those family members, anyone who provides you with that comfort is so big. If I did not have you here, genuinely, my life would be so different. Moving here, like I mentioned in the last video, one of the most difficult things, but most rewarding things that's happened in my life, and I gained you. And if I didn't follow my instinct, another big thing of like following your instinct of people who uplift you. If you have a feeling of someone judging you or someone making you feel a certain way, leave. It's not up to you to make that decision of allowing that person to give you that negative energy. let the universe unfold the way it's meant to. And the universe gave me someone like her.
Stop it!
But yeah, like, follow your instinct and allow the universe to give back to you just as much as you give to the world. Your body's going to change, your body's going to fluctuate, but you do have control in certain things. You have control of who you surround yourself with. You have control of what you give control to, power to. A big thing of growing up, if you want to give that person giving you those judgy eyes in the corner at a bar power, you can. Let them. Let them. Because I'll tell you right now, they're probably going through something way different, and they're taking it out in something else. So don't allow other people's ways of life and ways of living project onto you. You have power over that. Don't forget that. Usually we don't want to accept things and take accountability for things we're putting ourselves in, but at the end of the day, we can take power over that.
Another thing I will say is that I am someone who has realized, even in recent years, working in nightlife and nightclubs and just like that type of industry, and honestly just being a woman in general, is just because you are starting to learn to feel comfortable with your body, or you want to start learning to feel comfortable with your body, you can't expect others to do the same for your body. Like, just because you're starting to love your body and trying to view it in a different way doesn't mean that others will. And like Naya said, that's completely on them, and that's how they view themselves. Someone who is a confident human being, confident in how they look, how they feel, how they are, will not find time. Like, there's literally no space in their soul, in their heart, to judge others or comment on someone else's appearance. And that, I promise you, and I'm saying that vulnerably, when I've been my lowest and I felt the most insecure, I point things out about people that I feel about myself, whether that's skin, body image, and I do that a lot in here. And then I realize, like, whoa, why am I being so mean to those people? And I'm like, oh, that's how I talk to myself. So if you wake up every day in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and first thing you think is like, ew, I gotta lose it, or oh, I'm not seeing the progress that I want, then that's what you're putting out in the world without you even knowing it. So again, back to when people point out things about your body and stuff, it has really nothing to do with you, and don't ever let that discourage your journey or your passion for wanting to love yourself and be a better human being, because those people are clearly struggling. And honestly, they're usually coming from not only insecure people, but people that just could never bag a baddie like me. And that is the last.
I got it! Because confidence is key.
Confidence is key, and people will always point something out. I don't know why. Don't ask us why.
Point something out of yours before someone else can point it out, because then it just shows them. You're human too. Allow it. Just like when we point out our insecurities, like one day I'll be like, that's a pimple or whatever. You'll do that too. I think that's our way of trying to take control of it before someone else can.
Yeah. Yes.
But
a lot. Sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you. I think Naya said this way at the beginning of the podcast, but a lot of the times people don't even notice.
No, they don't.
The people that feel more insecure with themselves because they don't have time or space to judge others, and so you're out here like, oh, this is it. Oh, I'm gaining weight, and these people are like, you are, and then they start looking at it, and they're like, oh, I guess. But it's like, see it and don't say your word, your phrase.
Oh, don't fixate on it. The more you look for it, the more you'll find. It's genuinely such a real thing. I put it in my room on a sticky note, and I think everyone should put that, because nothing is perfect. Let me say that again. Nothing is perfect. Everyone is always going to try and nitpick at every single thing. Even if it's not your body, they'll try and be like, oh, like what you're trying to strive for in life is not realistic enough. There's so many ways people are going to try and comment. Yeah, 100%. Criticism is the word.
Oh.
There will always be criticism. So don't allow that to affect you. Take control of it before other people do. Yes, I have a pimple today. No, I actually don't, but I'm just saying.
Sorry to expose you. They can see.
I'm not in the moment. I'm saying, like, if I were.
Yeah.
I have a pimple. Okay, I see it. Don't fixate on it. The more you look for, the more you'll find.
Yeah, don't fixate on it or just freaking accept it. Like, it's there. It's your friend, bro. Sometimes when I get them, I'm like, okay, sometimes I'm like, she's attached to me. And it's fine. She'll leave. It's normal. Imperfections is what makes you human. And human beings are so incredible. We literally run the world.
So true.
That's
Who
another
run
topic.
The world?
Humans.
You run the world.
Humans. So, yeah, the imperfections are actually a really cool thing. But before we let you guys go, I do have a question for Naya, and that is, when you find yourself feeling a little bit more insecure in your body and you're finding it a little bit more of a struggle to get out of that mindset, what are some steps that you take to lead you to, feeling more comfortable and loving yourself?
A big part of learning to become comfortable with your body is accepting that you're not comfortable with it. I think so many people can avoid it. They can try to make up excuses, be like, if you're underweight, it's like, just eat, just do this, just do that, which I've experienced. But we are our biggest critics. And when you become aware of that, it is so different to see that your body is not a reflection of anything else but your thoughts and how you take it. So taking control when you have those thoughts is like, I'm too skinny, I'm overweight, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to eat more, I need to eat less, whatever. Acknowledge it. Okay, I'm that. Now what are you going to do about it? You have to admit it to yourself. If you don't do that, there's no other way you can get past that jump.
Relationship with yourself is really just like a relationship with another person. It just becomes a lot more complex because you can't escape your own mind. And so a lot of the times you don't really understand how to separate emotion-based, separated from logic. And again, like, we're in our own heads, so we have multiple different emotions going on at once. So if you and your partner per se are having like a lot of fights, then the first step to solving those fights is, okay, we're fighting a lot. So I think that's what she's getting at, is you need to be able to accept that you're having internal conflict. And that doesn't make you weak, and it will never make you any less worthy than someone who's already confident, because the most confident people have their insecure days. It just makes you human. And like Naya is saying, yeah, admit it, accept it, sit with it, and be grateful that you're recognizing that, because that already is a step closer.
And once you admit it, which was my second part, is then you can take action. Mm-hmm. You could do something about it.
But so like, what type of action?
So for me personally, I can ask you to sit with me. Yeah, that's something I used to not be able to do. It's like, acknowledge that you need help right now. Acknowledge that you need a friend or someone to talk to you. It is where that acknowledgement comes that we can take action and then feel better about taking that action. Because then, when I ask you to sit with me, I'm not feeling guilty about the thought of eating, or I'm not doing that. It's like, I just have someone sitting with me who knows what I'm going through, who is respectful of it, and who I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. And who allows
you to feel the way you're feeling. Yeah. It is okay to have those thoughts. That's the biggest thing. In your 20s, especially in your 20s, you probably feel it later on in life too, for like older audiences, but in your 20s, you're not the same size you were when you were 15. You're not the same size you were when you were 18. You're not the same size you were when you were 20. You're gonna change. And that is okay. More than okay. We want to acknowledge that that's okay, become aware of it, and then take action. Mm-hmm. Get the support you need. Ask for help when you need it. That's the best thing I can say, because the more you avoid something, it comes out into different ways. And that's a whole other different cycle that you can go down. So.
By action, it obviously doesn't necessarily mean like I hate my nose, so I'm gonna get a nose job, or I'm gonna get a BBL, or I'm gonna go to the gym so hard, or I'm gonna fast for days. Obviously, I mean, no shade to people that like get surgery or whatever. Like, do what is gonna make you feel good. But what I'm trying to say is the action doesn't necessarily mean like take an action to provoke a physical change in your body. It's more so to take an action that allows you as a human being to admit your flaws, your insecurities, and to take a step closer to feeling healthier, to feeling better. If you feel like you are gaining a little weight because you let yourself go and then the first step is I'm not feeling my best because I know I haven't been taking care of myself. So it always ties back to what am I doing to my soul, to my state of mind.
Psychology major over here, everybody.
Yes. So yeah, try to really detach the action. I think I would recommend you guys take first one, definitely accept it. That was spot on. But the first action is detach the physical changes that you want right away to what do I need? What does my body need? Does my body need more nutrients? Probably. Does your body need to go on a walk, to people watch, and like just get moving? So those things. Don't hyperfixate so much on what you want to change right away as to what are the patterns that have been making you feel bad, and do the opposite. Do the complete opposite.
That's something we're working on.
Yeah, we are.
Do the opposite.
We are.
Because our minds want to tell us what's comfortable, not what's like actually worth doing. Like we're so comfortable in how we react to things and how we do certain things, but it doesn't have to be that way. We can learn to train our brains in a different way. Our neural pathways are very...
Shout out Tara Store.
Tara Store.
Tara Store. And
she is our legend.
And Jay Shetty. We love you. We love you.
We think you're very wise. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about that another time, but your brain is like it's very possible to change your brain.
Rewire it.
And we will definitely touch on subjects like that later on. But with that being said, we are going to end off our podcast here.
That was our second episode. We look forward to more. You guys are going to hear so much about just trying to be your better selves every single day. And
we love you guys. And remember to love yourself
first and always. And be the best you. Ready? Okay.
This is where the camera is, right there.
Obviously, men, boy, whatever. Men or a woman. God, I need to remember to look at you because last time you said I wasn't making eye contact.
Okay.
Wait, thumbnail, cut. I like that.
Restart. You have control of taking control. Brain fart!
You have control of taking control.
So, big word, power.
I'm hungry.
God. That's a really good question. I think the first...
And take... This noise, ignore it, okay?
Cut.
Ignore. He's married. Cut! I'm feeling relatable. Sorry.
Cut.
But...
And that's like very... That's bye-bye.